let's begin with our main stage talk with André ten Wolde. André turned Domino's Pizza into the #1 pizza chain in the Netherlands and has now set his sights on the rest of Europe. Here's André, the CEO of Dominos Europe, to talk about fresh, hot innovation, the secret to global expansion. André, welcome.
Cheers, thanks for having me.
I've got a really open question as the first one. Can you tell us something about yourself?
I've been with Dominos for 15 years. I started as an interim job. I had no previous experience in food, delivery, retail, restaurants.
Because what did you do before?
My previous jobs have always been in the music industry. I worked for a large events organizer before called ID&T.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of large dance events.
So you had a wild time there?
I worked really hard, yes. And years before, I was the CEO for TMF, the music factory. And before that, I worked for several record companies. So if people ask me, what is your career? I always round discs as all of my things because I started at record companies when there's still a lot of vinyl around. And I'm still in the large round discs business today.
Okay. So this is completely something new for you, the pizza.
It was totally new for me. After I ended my career with ID&T, I wanted to have a sabbatical for a year. I managed to do 6 months.
Because you were tired, or because what was the reason?
Yeah, just because I needed to refocus and do something else, and I didn't know what. So I thought, let's just take some time to rethink. And after 6 months, I got a call from someone saying, from a friend of mine actually saying, you have some. Is it itching already? Do you want to work again? I said, no, not really. What do you have? And he said, I'm calling on behalf of Dominos. Never heard of it. I had no idea what it was.
No, because you never ordered their pizza? Or
no. Up to that point, I've never had a food pizza delivery at home.
Why not, no?
No, I live pretty central, so the restaurants were close by, so I didn't do home delivery back then. Okay. So I got into a plane to, back then, the US, because the US owned the rights for the Benelux, and had an interview, which I told my wife it's going to be a nice trip. I'll do some shopping over there and get back, because I'm never going to get this interim gig because I don't know anything about this business. And then a couple of days later, they called, what do you want to accept this 6-month tenure thing? And I got a little bit hooked because I talked to a couple of franchisees, really young guys, really proud guys about their business. And I started to think that delivery might be something that is actually a thing, and also a growing thing. Yeah. And especially the digital delivery side of things.
Especially now, probably.
If I talk to my kids, they were already into that, and I was being my old self. Yeah.
But why do you, when you go back, why do you think they chose you, like with no experience in the interview?
What they were looking for was someone who came recommended, and my friend recommended me. B, it wasn't the issue they had back then was that it was managed out from the US, and you had franchisees here in the Netherlands, and the relationship between the US and the franchisees was not very good. So I think they were looking for a sort of people guy, and who could relate to people instead of necessarily the product or the business, and can see if we could get them back together. After 6 months, my conclusion was that they should not run it out of the US, but find a master franchisee who ran it here with local knowledge. And I found that master franchisee on the other side of the world, actually in Australia. There was a company there that ran Dominos over there, had sort of reached potential and was looking to expand. And I convinced them to actually buy the Netherlands, Belgium, and France. To my surprise, they asked me to stay on, which was another 6 months, you know how this works. Another 6 months, another 6 months.
Now you're 15 years later.
15 years later, I'm still here.
Another question: Can you tell us a bit more about your business? How is it structured? What is your business model? Who are your customers?
Yeah, so Domino's is a 62-year-old brand from the US, and it's been a delivery brand forever. And in the US, the original owners of the brand still run the business. They 6,000 plus stores there. Outside of the US, typically they look for master franchisees, local businesses that run their brand here. So it is a franchise model, but it's a franchise model with a lot of freedom. That's what I like about it, and it's also very adaptable to certain markets. I think the success of Domino's is that it adapts to the local market in toppings and what is a pizza. A pizza is not the same in every market. If you look at Japan, pizza looks totally different.
Yeah? How?
Yeah, well, toppings, for instance, there's a lot of them, and they're very luxury things on there. They have salmon and caviar on pizzas where we do pepperoni, right?
Yeah, okay.
We do shawarma here in the Netherlands, which is awful. I'm not a fan.
You sell it at
I
Domino's.
do sell it. It's not me who decides, it's the customer that decides.
I think when you have a hangover, it's quite good.
It is a very good hangover pizza. I give you that. I give you that. It's a very good hangover pizza. But I think the success is that the product itself is very adjustable, and you get a lot of freedom within this system. I can't change the logo. The logo is whatever it is, but I can change what is a pizza. And that in India we are the biggest QSR brand because we know that what Indians like on a pizza, and also that they don't have big budgets, so they actually sell smaller size pizzas. So. We don't have a Big Mac or a Whopper, which is the same everywhere, but we cater to the local needs. Yeah,
and you already told a bit about it, that like tech is more and more important right now, or order and delivery and things like that. And now, especially due to Corona, of course, even more important. What impact did it have on Domino's?
Well, it basically did two things. First of all, we do delivery and we do carry out. People can pick up a pizza, right? Delivery went through the roof immediately, almost instant, after people went shopping for toilet paper and stuff. Then
order pizza, yeah.
And because I think all of us wanted to cook every night at dinner, but after a week that got stale and they started ordering pizza. So instantly our delivery numbers were up massively. On the other side, and that's a smaller part of our business, the carry-out, the pickup side of our business, that hurt significantly. People didn't trust themselves to go out on the street. One of the other things it did was, with our growth, we had issues getting enough staff to actually deliver. And sometimes it pains me to say, but with all the restaurants closed, there was a lot of staff available. So all of a sudden, I think in the Netherlands, and numbers in Germany and France are way bigger, but in the Netherlands, we hired 4,000 additional people in the first 4 or 5 weeks to be able to deliver all those pizzas to the customer. So you might say that it's been, to a degree, beneficial for us, but it also took a lot of hard work. We were the first, after 2 days, to introduce zero contact delivery, where we put the pizza for you in front of your door on a stool and stepped away, so we get to have the distance. So we immediately had to do a lot of changes and bring a lot of technology forward that we were already thinking about, but we're planning to roll out later, which was very relevant during the COVID.
What kind of technology are you talking about?
Well, one of the things which is not as relevant maybe for the Netherlands, for other markets, is car park delivery. People our car park at our stores, people didn't really necessarily want to go into a store. Outside was fine. So we gave them the option to just park in front of our stores, and we came out and brought the pizza to the store, put it in the boot or in the back, and you could drive on. Sort of a smart drive-through.
Yeah, and do you
can't do that in every store. Some stores are in city centers where it's hard to get by car or park. But even if you came by bike, we would just go out, give you the pizzas, and you could move on.
Is it an American model, or did you got the idea yourself?
Good ideas always have a lot of people who invented it. It was definitely not our ideas. Our best ideas in our business come actually out of stores. Imagine a store has 30, 40 people working there, and they're mostly really young people, really smart people. They do it next to their school or their university, And the best ideas come out of school, out of the stores.
Yeah,
so I wish I could take credit for this one, but no, it's not me.
Yeah. So always listen good to the people that work in your store.
100%.
Well, there are great, big ambitions to expand and grow in the Netherlands also this year. How can you achieve this?
Well, how do you achieve this? Obviously, we're in a market that grows exponentially. Home delivery. Dominos has done that for 60 years, so someone 60 years ago had a vision which was spot on. But it took a long time, and obviously the US is always a little bit more progressive in these things than we are. But look at Europe, delivery, and with all the delivery aggregators, the Uber Eats, the takeaway.coms, people get more stuff delivered almost daily. So, and not just pizza, obviously. It used to be only pizza. So you could say we were sort of the game changers in that, but now it's groceries, it's all your food, it's your meal packages, it's your shoes.
Yep.
I mean,
everything.
Everything gets delivered these days, and so we're growing with that. Our model is a little bit different from, let's say, the Amazon model, who builds this big shed in the middle of a country and then starts delivering by cars to people's homes. We want to be close to the customer, because we think when you're craving food, you want it delivered fast.
Yeah.
So in the Netherlands, we have well over 300 stores that only deliver in a 2-kilometer radius, basically.
Yeah.
We don't want to go further because A, your pizza doesn't get any better when we drive for a long time.
I heard that the pizza is one of the most difficult, like, food things to deliver.
I think the contrary. I think it's the easiest to deliver. I think fries are really poor to deliver, and burgers because they don't hold a lot of heat.
Okay, so pizza is good to deliver, but still you choose like the 2 kilometers.
You're right if you think about the traditional Italian pizza that we all love. I think it is a crime to deliver that because it's thin, it doesn't hold a lot of pizza.
Heard that.
And you should eat that straight out of your wood-fired oven.
Yeah.
You should not deliver that. That is my personal opinion. People may differ about that. And in all honesty, what we call pizza is a designed pizza to be delivered. It has a little bit more bread, it has a little bit more cheese, a little bit more sauce, so it holds the heat longer. So it's designed for delivery. That's our DNA, that's our heritage. And people ask me, why can't I get that really thin, beautiful Italian pizza? We could make that, but we can't deliver it. And personally, I don't think you should eat it out of a box. You should eat that at the Mediterranean with a nice glass of Barolo with some friends in the sun.
In the sun.
Exactly. Exactly.
With a good glass of wine.
Yeah.
And you told us about your ambition to grow. What things are key to support that ambition? What do you need?
We need people. We need good people. We need good franchisees. We need good managers to run the store. Because I think the system being as old as it is and as developed as it is, and with all the digital additions that we've put on, that's there. The system works. But it is amazing to see how one store can differ from the other store, and the only thing that's really different in that store is the people in it. And we need talent. We put a lot of effort in getting new franchisees in, new managers in. We're not looking for investors. We're looking for people that are passionate about what we're doing. And those are hard to come by. And so the one thing that it's, especially now, it's not locations. We can find locations. We don't need money. We have the money. We can invest. It's the people that we're looking for. And I think more and more people are starting to see this delivery age. I think the next 10 years you'll see delivery booming even more. And this COVID situation has propelled that basically. And some restaurants start to do delivery by themselves, and they start to find out how hard it is if you don't have all the systems in place to actually do it. So I'm guessing more people will look at a system like Dominos, where that is all thought through and the digital side is covered, and might join us to grow.
Last question, because I could talk with you for hours, but of course, unfortunately, it's not working like that. Well, from growing locally to tackling international expansion, What do you think? Can you tell us something about the barriers you have to overcome? What are the biggest barriers?
I think the biggest barriers, they change. The big barrier when I started, you can imagine I went from a pretty glamorous company with my kids still hate that I made this decision, even though they go to every event that there is. But it was sort of the image of the business. The image of the business used to be combustion scooters driving too fast through a red light, very regularized business, maybe not very clean, and to a very tech-driven, tech-savvy business that is very organized, has their systems in place. I think the biggest barrier sometimes, especially not with youth, they understand it now, but especially with older people, they go, oh, pizza business, and I think you have that with landlords, you have that with municipalities. For if you want a permit, they go, oh, pizza delivery.
So you mean the
business.
Image is the biggest barrier to overcome?
I feel that, but maybe that's just my age group, because my kids and kids up to 30 or young families, they don't feel that anymore. I still feel that when I get to do presentations like this, they go, I think lots of people switch to the other channel because they thought, what does this pizza guy do?
But once we hear you, now we hear you, so the image is better, maybe.
All right, that's why
I don't have that idea, but
maybe it works.
I wish you a lot of luck.
Thanks,
André.
Thanks for having me.